Hey guys, I'm Tyler. I'm a graphic designer, and today we're going to talk about Illustrator versus Photoshop and hopefully help you decide which one to learn. So let's start with the first and most obvious difference between Photoshop and Illustrator. Photoshop is pixel-based or raster graphics, which means that when you zoom in super close to something, you can actually see the individual pixels that make up the image. And that is really cool and really powerful because it enables you to get in there and edit photos, which are pixel-based. So Illustrator is vector-based graphics. So it's using math to figure out from this point to this point, you have some sort of transformation going on, a line or a curve. And so if you were to take those points and scale them up, that curve is going to scale up with them, or that line is going to scale up with them, so it's infinitely scalable. So Photoshop is just what it says. It's for shopping photos, but it's for a lot more as well. So beyond just editing photos, you can also do illustration. You can actually do design and build shapes in Photoshop. You can also do mock-ups, which is something that I use Photoshop for a lot. I get my mock-ups from places like Envato Elements, and then I put in my own designs and my own logos and imagery. You can also use it for art. I'm sure there's a lot more you can do in Photoshop, maybe that I haven't learned or explored, but those are the main things that I myself use Photoshop for. Now, what is Illustrator? So Illustrator is really amazing for illustration, obviously, but I find that the thing that it is top tier, number one, my go-to for the most are logos and professional graphics. And the reason is that if you tried to do those in Photoshop, they're going to be pixel-based and they're not scalable. If that company wants to blow it up on a billboard, it's going to be all pixely and gross and they can't use it. So you want to make those logos and those professional graphics in Illustrator where they're vector based and they're infinitely scalable. One thing that's really cool with Illustrator is that you can take a pixel image and you can put it in Illustrator and you can vectorize it, and it's called image trace. And it can actually use, I'm assuming, some sort of artificial intelligence to take a pixel image and make it into a vector image. It has its limitations, but it is so incredibly powerful. That is one of my favorite tools in Illustrator. As a traditional artist, I'm doing, ink drawings and I want them to become a coloring page. So I will put them in Illustrator and I'll vectorize them, and it's just a really cool tool. One of the things I absolutely love about Illustrator that, as far as I know, when making this video, Photoshop does not have, are the artboards. Artboards are so awesome for taking all that creative brain explosion and putting it into kind of a more organized layout, because you can have, a piece of paper here with these ideas and a piece of paper here with these ideas, versus Photoshop where you just have one piece of paper with a million ideas spread all over it. Okay, so now the question of which one is better. So this question is kind of funny to me because I actually don't think one is better than the other. In general, I think each one is better for a specific job. So if you are a graphic designer, you're probably going to be using Illustrator a lot more. If you're a photographer or if you do a lot with photo manipulation, you're obviously going to use Photoshop a lot more. It just depends on what you want to use each program for. I probably use Photoshop every single day. On the other hand, Illustrator is absolutely vital if you want to do graphic design. It took me about a month to learn Illustrator, which was crazy, but I had a good teacher. This is not sponsored, he doesn't even know I'm shouting him out, but Dan Scott with bringyourownlaptop.com, amazing class, and after taking that class, I felt like a professional with Illustrator, and it completely changed my game. So if you're wanting to learn Illustrator, I highly recommend him. I think you can also find a lot of his classes for free on YouTube, but I just happily shout him out because that class was amazing and invaluable. He also does offer a Photoshop class, and that is a great class as well. So Illustrator for me was a lot easier to learn. Photoshop I feel like has a lot broader of a use case. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of both of these programs, and I think that both are very much worth learning and exploring. I hope this video helped you understand the difference between these two programs. I know that when I was getting started, I thought they were very similar, and now that I understand them much better, I know that they are wonderful for totally separate jobs. So I hope this helped you kind of figure out what path you want to go on. And I will leave some helpful resources down in the description, like those courses from Dan that I mentioned. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer all your comments. And if you want to see more videos that talk about design, graphic design, website design, and my journey as an artist, please subscribe. And I'm happy to go on this journey with you and learn a lot together. So, all right, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful, beautiful, inspired day. Bye.